Kuzangpula. Welcome to Bhutan e-learning project. I'm Kalpana Giri from Yangchunfa Higher Secondary School, and today I'll be taking you through a geography lesson, key stage 4 for classes 9 and 10 on the topic settlement. In your lower classes, you have learnt about the population distribution of Bhutan, and then you also discovered why population are not evenly spread in the country. And in this lesson, you will learn about the settlement patterns that we have in our country. So people tend to settle in the places where there is a flat valley and in the terraces of the slopes, and where the climatic condition is favorable for them to work. So with this, let's look into this lesson. So before the lesson, I have some objectives that need to be fulfilled. So after the lesson, you should be able to define what is settlement. The second objective is list down 2 types of settlement, explain the patterns of settlement. Then you should be able to define urbanization, and then finally you should be able to list down all the types of town. Now, what is settlement? Okay. Settlement means a cluster of dwellings of any type or size where human beings live and use the area to fulfill their needs. Settlement can range from small to a bigger settlement. Example, settlement can range from hamlet, village, town and cities. Settlement can be of any type, size and pattern. So look at the picture here. In the first picture, you can see a group of houses there. It's a small settlement. Then in the second picture, now the settlement has become quite big. And finally, now this settlement has turned into a town. In this way, settlement develops. So now let's look into the types of settlement. There are different types of settlements based on pattern and shapes. Broadly, they are classified into 2 types of settlement. First one, the rural settlement and the urban settlement. So the rural settlement is a type of settlement where people are mainly engaged in primary activities such as agriculture, livestock rearing, fishing and mining. Whereas urban settlement means the settlement where people are mainly engaged in secondary and tertiary activities. Now, I have few differences between rural and urban settlement. So rural settlement, people engaged in primary activities such as agricultural work. Whereas in urban settlement, people are engaged in secondary and tertiary activities. Settlements are small in size, whereas in urban settlement, settlements are bigger in size. In rural settlement, we have small size of population. That means minimum people are there, whereas in urban settlement, we have huge size of population, more number of people there. The density of population is less in rural settlement, whereas the density of population is more in urban settlement. So here density of population means number of people per square kilometer. In rural settlement, modern facilities are absent, whereas in urban settlements, we can avail all kinds of modern facilities. Now let's look at the settlement pattern. So I have 3 pictures here. By looking at these pictures, what are settlement patterns? So in the first picture, you can see the black dots. So that black dots represent houses. So in the first picture, the black dots are clustered together. That means the houses are all clustered together. And then in that second picture, you can see that houses are scattered from each other. And finally, in the third picture, the houses are along the roadside. So these are 3 patterns of settlement. So, settlement pattern means the special organization of house which describes the overall shape and indentation of the settlements. So, in total we have 3 patterns of settlement, that is the nucleated settlement, the dispersed settlement and the linear settlement. Now, let us look into the detail of the nucleated settlement. So, nucleated settlement is also known as clustered or compact settlement. Here, in such settlements, people live in houses clustered together around the common center for defensive, economic or social reasons, forming a large village and later some becomes town. So, here look at the picture of nucleated settlement. The common center there is a lahang, and then you can see lots of houses there clustered together, and it is surrounded by green farmland. So, such settlements are usually surrounded by cultivated lands. In this kind of settlements, people live in close community, and then farmers, they go to work in the field in the morning and then return back in the evening. And at times, farmers, they build shades in their farmlands to guard their crops from wild animals. In such settlements, the houses are made up of strong building materials like stone, mud and wood, and they are mostly found in high altitude areas. So, the best example of nucleated settlement can be found in Ura in Bumthang. So, you can see in the picture there is a lahang, and then all the houses are built around it, and then it is surrounded by farmlands. So, in such settlement, people traditionally build 2 to 3 story houses so that the ground floor can be used for livestock. So, why do people build 2 to 3 story houses? And here are the reasons why they keep their livestock in the base floor. First one is to protect the animals from rain and cold. Second one, to keep away predators such as leopards, wolves, tigers and bears. Third one, to collect dung for preparing manure for the field. And then we also have one more reason, that is for economic use of space and labor. However, nowadays people realize the health hazards related to keeping livestock in their houses, thus they build separate shelter for animals. So, when we keep animals with us, we know that the surroundings won't be clean, and then all kinds of diseases will outbreak in that community. That's why now the people have realized the health hazards of keeping animals with humans. The nucleated settlements are found in northern, central, northwestern and northeastern parts of the country. So, this type of settlements are found in high altitudes. That's why people also follow seasonal migration. Now, the second type of settlement is dispersed settlement. So, dispersed settlement is also known as scattered or sprinkled settlement. So, by looking at the word dispersed only, you must be having some idea about it. In such settlement, individual dwellings such as farmsteads or houses are scattered widely over a vast area. So, look at the picture here. Here you can see that houses are built quite apart from each other, and then each houses have their own cultivated area. People build simple 1 or 2 storied houses which may not be very far from next neighbor on their isolated farmstead. So, they use building materials like bamboo, stone and mud. They are mostly found in low altitude like in south and southeastern Bhutan. Dispersed pattern of settlements are found in southern regions of the country, where the weather is not so cold like in nucleated settlement. That's why people built houses that are quite apart from each other. And then people also do not keep animals with them. They built separate sheds for the farm animals. So you can clearly see from the picture the dispersed settlement pattern here. The animal sheds are built close to individual houses. Every village has a temple, monastery, often serving as a school and religious center. And then new features are also added in this type of settlement, that is, they have a primary school or a community school, they have BHU, and then they have agricultural extension office, and also it is access to motorable and electricity connections. Now the third pattern of settlement is a linear settlement. This settlement is an elongated pattern of settlement which has developed mainly along the side of a major roadways on the account of the advantages provided by the roadway. In such settlement, individual dwellings such as farmsteads or houses are scattered widely over a vast area. So look at the linear pattern of settlement here. The settlement that takes place along the roadside is also known as linear settlement. Because of the motor roads, because of the development of motor roads in our country, it has become very easy for our village people to come out of their village for trade and to procure household items. Gradually, people have started settling in the terminal points. At first, people built temporary huts, and later it turns into a permanent settlement. Some people under such settlement began to cultivate land along the roadside, but majority set up restaurants and shops to serve both travelers and inhabitants in and around the area. In Bhutan, linear settlement came into existence only later, mainly after the 1960s, when the highway road was established. So now let's go to another subheading, that is growth of town. So now what is town? Okay. A town is a place with many streets and buildings where people live and work. Towns are larger than villages but smaller than cities. Town or a city is the best example of urban centers. In our country, zones have played a very significant role in the growth of town. Zones were ideally located in a place which was easily accessible from different parts of the valley. Therefore, administrative offices were established inside the zones. In the 1960s, when royal government expanded the developmental programs, the employment opportunities in the administrative offices increased, resulting in the increase in population in and around the zone. So when more people started working in the zone, the surrounding in the area got developed, and when more people started settling there, the towns also extended. Now let's look at the importance of zone. Zones serve as functional points for almost all services provided to people. Some parts of the zones are devoted to monastic studies. Some parts of zone served as temple of different saints, teachers and deities. So zones always served in a multi-functional way. Some parts of the zones were devoted for religious studies, where some were used for administrative functions. In the past, zones also served for a defensive purpose, and then some parts were used as storage and granaries, where the other administrative parts were used for administrative functions. People gathered in the zone mainly during festivals and important ceremonies. So, gathering of large number of people from different villages in zone during some festivals is known as mitrom, which is also known as urban crowd. So, during festivals only, people from all the villages they came to the zone, and then during that time traders, it was an opportunity for them to sell their items to the to that large gatherings. So, this kind of gatherings where people came in a large crowd is known as mitrom, which is also known as urban crowd. So, now let us go to urbanization. What is urbanization? Urbanization refers to a process in which people from rural areas move to urban centers and their traditional society is transformed. So, when people from rural areas migrate to urban centers, it is known as urbanization. Here, people won't do primary activities, that is agriculture. So, the main characteristics of urban centers are, first one is in urban areas there will be large crowd of people. Second one, there are lots of tall concrete buildings concentrated in small areas. Third is there are crisscross of streets and presence of many shopping centers, hotels, restaurants, hospitals and schools. So, urban centers or urban areas offers us lots of facilities and services. So, now let us look at the rate of urbanization. The change over time in the percentage of people living in town is known as rate of urbanization. Now, let us look at urbanization in Bhutan. So, urbanization in Bhutan is a recent phenomenon. There were no urbanization in Bhutan until 1960s. So, there are three factors which affected the establishment of urbanization in Bhutan. The first one is site and situation of the place. Second one, increase in the service facilities, and third one is the growth of trade and transport. The rate of urbanization in Bhutan has been very rapid. Okay. Now, with this, let us look at types of town. So, the first town we have is administrative town. What is administrative town? Towns and cities that have developed as a result of administrative function is known as administrative town. So, almost all the Dzongkhas comes under administrative town. Then we have trade town. Towns and cities that have developed as a result of trade is known as trade town. Example is Phuntsling, because it is located in the border area where people come in and go out, and it has boosted trade there. Then other one is industrial town. Towns and cities that have developed as a result of industries there is known as industrial town. The best example is Gomtu town. Then we have the educational town. Towns and cities that have developed as a result of educational centers like schools, monasteries and institutions. So, the best example we have is Kanglung town, which has developed as a result of Sherapsa College there. So, finally, we have come to an end of the lesson. So, in this lesson, we learned meaning of settlement, Then we also learned 2 types of settlement and their differences. We also learned 3 major patterns of rural settlement. Then we also learned how urbanization started in Bhutan. So as a follow-up activity, I have few questions for you all. Number 1, discuss any 3 differences between nucleated and linear settlement. Then number 2, explain how urbanization started in Bhutan. And then third one, write down more about 4 types of town by referring your textbook. Thank you.